In question 3, we are looking at parallel and perpendicular lines and midpoints. So we're given the points A and B, which I've marked up on this diagram here, and asked to find the midpoint M. So again, using the formula from the formula booklet, we know that we can find the midpoint by effectively taking the average of the x-coordinates and the average of the y-coordinates. So I'm going to say that point A is my x1, y1, and B is x2, y2. So using the formula, that's going to be 6 plus minus 6 over 2, which hopefully we can see is going to be 0, and minus 7 plus 2 over 2. So that's going to simplify to 0 minus 5 over 2. Now I can leave it as a fraction or a decimal, it's the same thing. L1 is a line through A and B, and we want to find the gradient of L1. Now, the gradient, again, obviously the formula we want to use for that is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So, again, if I have A is x1, y1, and B is x2, y2, y2 is going to be 2 minus y1, which is going to be minus 7, all over x2, which is going to be minus 6 minus x1, which is going to be 6. So that's going to simplify to 2 minus minus 7, which is obviously the same as plus 7. So that's going to be 9 over minus 6. Minus 6 is minus 12. And that is going to simplify to negative 3/4. In part C, we're asked to write down the gradient of L2. Now, write down means it should be fairly straightforward, and that is because we've already found that the gradient of line 1 is negative 3 over 4. So the negative reciprocal, therefore, is going to be 4 over 3. You could alternatively use the formula M1, M2 equals negative 1, and substitute in negative 3/4 for M1 and solve. That would also give you the same answer. Part C2 was the tricky bit here that a lot of people struggle with. Write down in the form y equals mx plus c the equation of line L2, which we now know has a gradient of 4/3 and passes through the point M with the coordinate 0 minus 5 over 2. So the way that most people tend to prefer to solve this is just to substitute in. So here is our equation, y equals mx plus c. We need to substitute in the gradient and a coordinate pair in order to find c. So we've got our coordinate pair up here because it goes through M. The y value is negative 5 over 2. We've got the gradient up here, which is 4/3. The x coordinate is 0 plus c. Now, hopefully we can see that that is just going to disappear. So therefore c is equal to negative 5 over 2. So we can substitute that back in here. And we're going to end up with the equation y equals 4/3 x minus 5 over 2. The alternative approach to solving this is using the formula y minus y1 equals m brackets x minus x1. If we then substitute in the same coordinate pair, so y minus 5 over 2 equals 4/3 brackets x minus 0. So y minus 5 over 2 is y plus 5 over 2, which is going to equal 4/3 x. Therefore, if we rearrange that, that's also going to give you 4/3 x minus 5 over 2.